For now. All right. Happy Tuesday and Cinco de Mayo. Woo! I guess
Happy Tuesday, yeah.
have some mimosas or something, or
I know.
some breakfast tacos, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I could use a mimosa. I haven't had one
mimosas would be
forever.
so good.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I am so happy and grateful to have you here. To have the beautiful, talented Miss Taylor Hayden with me.
Thank you.
And just to reiterate, the whole intention of the Faith and Finesse Mastermind series is Precious Appreciation Month. I would keep saying it, Google it. It's a national holiday. And, I just want to celebrate and appreciate my entrepreneurial journey, as well as invite some of my awesome friends who I've met that I feel like can be able to just add value to everyone that's on this journey as well. Entrepreneurship is not cookie cutter.
No.
I called it Faith and Finesse because that's really what you got to have to be able to pivot and go through all of the ever evolving changes that you're experiencing as an individual. Because technically, you're like building a business while you're still trying to figure out who you are, but you want more. And so it's like a mixture of all these different emotions and experiences in one. And so the people I'm featuring on here has not necessarily figured it all the way out, but they're committed to figuring it out.
Yeah.
And so want to introduce Taylor. I'm going to get more into like how we met and how we connected on our journey, but I always like to start with a moment of gratitude. So, dear God, thank you for bringing us all here today. We appreciate you so much. We come to you with a spirit of gratitude and excellence, and with a spirit of expectation, God. We are really pushing and working towards our goals, and we are just seeking as much guidance in order for us to just get closer to our purpose. So I pray that everyone that has came to this conversation, that they pull everything that they need and that they're able to apply it real time. We are really looking for solutions that we can implement and really be able to start creating results. And I believe that in community and in collaboration, we can move so much quicker and more efficient. So, dear God, just come here and allow us to have this conversation and just be able to really connect on a very genuine level. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, these prayers are getting better because I've been sitting.
I know, that was awesome.
Sometimes like, okay, let me do a little rehearsal, but the more you lean into his presence, he's just like, okay, let me show up and see what y'all need from me. So definitely thank God for this opportunity. So yeah, let's dive in.
Okay.
How did we get connected? I mean, I can do the dramatics, but maybe you should start. Maybe I want to know your version of how we got connected.
Didn't we connect? I think we connected the year I graduated, or was it that following year?
I think it was.
I graduated from prison.
Yeah, it was that year following. So was it 2014 or 15?
It was either 2014 or 15. It was one of those years. I believe it was 14. I'm not sure.
You know what? It probably was 14.
Yeah. Because I remember you and my brother connected us. And I just remember we had a meeting at Papado's.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, we just had a meeting at Papado's. Yeah. And at the time, I was still trying to find my way, and I was doing public relations and marketing. So in a sense, I was still doing content, but photography was just a hobby of mine. I never just considered doing it as my profession. But when you and I connected, yeah, we were trying to build my brother's brand.
Yeah.
Straight business. Yeah. And yeah, and then after that, you and I just clicked, and we just been working together since then.
Ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy in between those times how much you and I have pivoted within our journey. Yeah. I think since I met you, I started off doing PR, but then I transitioned into travel blogging, but then that was my gateway into photography through being a travel blogger.
We're going to dive all the way into those. But yeah, we connected with your brother DJ and was really trying to because we felt that we were knowledgeable enough to know what was needed to really take his brand to the next level. But
Yeah.
sometimes guys, they're a little hard-headed and a little hard to receive information.
Very.
So although we did work on that project for a little while, we didn't allow our relationship to stop there. And so
Mm-hmm.
I just really kind of just fell in love with Taylor's commitment to really wanting everything to come off authentically and really thinking through how to just best present whatever we were doing in the most authentic way possible, as well as just her professionalism and just wanting to just try things out and see where it goes. And so I really admired that about you. And I anytime you shared a little piece of a dream or a thought or an idea, I would be the one to be like, okay, yeah, let's dig in, let's try it out. You like, yeah, I think I want to do a travel blog. I'm like, okay, we'll do it. You like, okay, you're right, I'm gonna do it. And then a couple weeks later, she launched it, and I started to get even more inspired with just wanting to travel more and things like that. And then she started taking these pictures, and she's like, wow, I'm kind of good at this. So tell us about that pivot when you were like, okay, clearly people like my photos, although this is just a hobby. What was the pivot of you saying, oh, I could actually take this from a hobby to a career?
Well, it was really the people in my life. So let me circle back. So what inspired me to start the travel blog was, then I knew that entrepreneurship was the path that I was supposed to be on, because after graduating, I just couldn't get a job. So no one would hire me. And so I just had to figure out a way to make money or just make something of myself. But at the same time, I knew I wanted to provide value for other people. I knew I wanted to connect to my calling and then build something around what I'm supposed to be doing while I'm here. And so I knew I wanted to help people, inspire people, and I wanted to do it just from what I was naturally good at. And I'm a creative. And so, and then I just love to travel. So at the time, that's when I decided to do the travel blog, because it pretty much fit all of my interests into one aspect. And then I was able to just channel everything within the travel blog. But what made me pivot was it wasn't receiving a quick turnaround as I would like. I just needed to make money. And but then when I just started receiving random inquiries from people, they would tell me, oh, your travel photos are dope. Can you just take photos of me and I'll pay you? And so I was like, oh, okay. And then at the time, I don't know why I just never considered doing photography, but until I just started receiving random inquiries, then I just took it from there and I figured it out. I didn't know anything about pricing packages. I didn't know anything about photo shoots. I had an entry-level DSLR. Yeah, I just figured it all out, and it was crazy. That all started in 2017. And just from my first paid photo shoot, which was like an $80 photo shoot, I didn't know what to charge. I was just like $80, and I gave her as many images as she wanted, and and then from there it was just a domino effect. Right. Yeah, people just started coming along. It was crazy.
So let me ask you this. Now I know, we both just kind of like, we didn't have to say we wanted to continue our relationship together, but why do you feel like right now, looking back on why you decided to, invite me or keep me a part of your entrepreneurial journey?
What I admired about you, like you said, I admired how committed you were, and you were just really big on serving other people. And I truly admired that. And I knew that you and I could really collaborate and then just really just do big things together. I mean, you really make things happen. You can't do everything alone, and you could really accomplish so much with an effective team around you. And you were just super big on serving others. And I truly admired that, because that in in a sense, that's what I want to do.
Right.
And so you're very talented at connecting, communicating, like you're everyone's biggest cheerleader. Yeah, and I just really wanted to be a part of that. And you were just so diligent. You were committed to just figuring everything out. Not a lot of people have that quality.
Right.
And like, and it's very rare. So once you find someone like that, yeah, you have to stick with them. So yeah, that's why you're stuck with me.
We're stuck. We're in this for
Yeah,
life.
we're
Okay,
stuck.
that's what we said. We gonna figure this out. Yeah, and I think I also appreciate that as when you're in the trenches with people and you're building and growing and you're you're open to just being vulnerable about the journey, it makes it even stronger, because I feel like we've even grown like on a personal level, because now that we're like really operating in our purpose, they tend to just really collide together.
Right.
Being able to grow as women and grow in business and grow as creatives, it's a really beautiful thing to be able to experience those different levels and depths of life with someone, and just appreciating our differences, as well as just honoring the growth that comes with it. So I guess I want to talk a little bit more just about our pivot as businesswomen. I feel like we've had to boss up a little bit more than, what we were back in 2014. So can you share what was one of those moments where you was like, man, like, I feel like a real boss today. Like that was a conversation that really pivoted your perspective on who you are as a businesswoman.
Right. I would say when I decided to just be a professional photographer and I was figuring out what my niche was, like I always had an interest in branding and I've always had an interest in business. But it wasn't until entrepreneurs or creatives were looking at me sort of as like a consultant, or they just really trusted me to create the vision for their brand just through photography. And then also just hearing their feedback, their testimonials just from working with me. It just really was an eye opener for me to just really continue to hone in on it and just help as many creatives as I can to accomplish their dream.
So kind of like the demand was there for you to show up.
Right.
So you're like, okay, the people want me to show up for them.
And then not even just from like a one-time shoot, it was on a reoccurring basis. So not only, I was creating content for people ongoing every single month.
So how does that work? How are you this amateur photographer and you just have this willing to serve and want, to help people really authentically share their story through photography. And then they're like, yeah, I want to just keep using you to share my story. Like what were those elements of what was the feedback you were getting from people that were like, I want to continue working with you? Because all photographers don't have that experience starting out.
So I was actually thinking about that recently, and just from the conversations that I have with, my clients that I've worked with compared to other photographers, they would just say that I just get it. Like there's just a way. So what I typically do with the clients I work with, I make it about them. Like I make their vision the forefront of everything. It's not all about what I think looks nice or what I want to shoot. Is really all about doing what's best for the client and their vision, if that makes sense. So when I talk about like style imagery, my overall objective is to create timeless imagery, but every client is different. Everyone has different goals, different intentions. So if you just make their mission, the forefront of everything, then they will truly appreciate it, if that makes sense. So I guess you could call it, I'm just very intentional when I go in and I shoot with my clients versus just going there to take pictures.
Right. And I think how the photographer positions themselves also will determine the types of clients they attract and retain. Because
Yeah.
I also know, like, I've heard people say photographers charge too much and they do this and they do that. And I'm like, they're just not taking pictures. They're documenting your story or, you know, your
Right.
vision of what you're wanting. I think people are understanding a little bit more. You know,
Mhm.
although I know we can take a lot of pictures on our cell phones and things like that, and there's different editing apps, depending on what the concept is, until you really like got a clear idea of what your brand should look like image wise, I think it's great to work with a photographer where that's their expertise. Because I know
Right.
even from you, you kind of helped me create my aesthetic and being like, okay, I've worked with other photographers and it just wasn't the same. So I'm like,
Mhm.
how do I duplicate Taylor? How does that work? Like, have you pivoted, have you experienced the pivot where people are now looking at you as the mentor and the guide in regards of like photographers? Like, have you built a community where people are like, dang, Taylor, I wanna learn from you?
Yeah, that's actually happening right now. So, and it's crazy because last year, well, I decided to make that pivot when I just started. Yeah, it was just people just asking me, and then the demand started to become high. So, in addition to my clients that I work with, so other photographers who would see me, they would just ask me, how do you get so many clients, or how do you take the pictures that you take? And even receiving DMs. One lady, I don't even know who she is, but she just sent me a DM saying, are you teaching any photography classes, and if so, I would love to take your class. And
Wow.
so, yeah, it's really people, and any way that I could help out, I'm willing to do that. So yeah, and I've been doing this for a minute now, so now I'm just willing to just share what I know to anyone who's wanting to learn
Who's
and
willing to learn?
elevate. Yeah.
So when you had to make that pivot in being like a really full-time professional photographer, what made you say like I do lifestyle or I do branding? Because I know sometimes it's kind of hard to find your niche. I know even for me, I know I mean I come from a fashion branding marketing background, but I realized in my pivot was that my true special sauce was my productivity
Mm-hmm.
and my ability to be consistent and manage people. And so
Right.
now that I know like that's my true gift, I'm now focused on really being able to share that gift with others. And
Mm-hmm.
so now that I know what my specific, you know, niche is, how did you identify yours?
How I identified mine was, how did I identify mine? It took a lot of self-reflecting and then just paying attention, so when I did my work, I just would ask myself, okay, am I feeling fulfilled doing this? So not I don't like all types of photography. Like, photography is fun to me, it's always been fun, but I don't enjoy doing certain styles of photography. I
Like which
consider
ones? I just want to know which ones you're like, that ain't me.
I'm really not a fan of, the themed photo shoots.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of those.
Okay.
Or and I'm really and then also family, unless I know
Certain
you
styles
or
of photography. I'm
oh,
sorry.
what
Like which ones?
happened?
I just want to know which ones you're like, that ain't me. All right. I just went live on YouTube for the first time, so we're over here
Oh,
seeing how it
okay.
works. But okay, go ahead.
Okay. What was I saying?
Oh
I
no,
lost
you
my
were
train
saying
of thought.
the things that you do not like.
Oh, right. I don't like, yeah, I don't like the theme shoots. And I think because it's staged, or it's kind of like, I don't want to say fake, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
I just really,
technically stage. It's not. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
right. Yeah, I'm not really too much of a fan of that. Like, I just love like natural,
Hmm.
anything that in regards of shooting things that are natural and real. Like, that's what I'm a fan of. Yeah.
I think that's also a reflection of your personality too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like the niche kind of falls in place with who you naturally are, I think too.
Right.
Like you're a person that loves, like, maybe you're more theatrical or colorful or want to, you may be into like staging and props and different things like that, if that's like your natural personality. But if you're more neutral and like earth tones or just vibes, and that may be your niche. I think that, I mean, that's something I'm realizing just as we're having this conversation, that your personality does play into what you're passionate about.
Right. It
I
does.
think they are definitely much so aligned, and especially when you talk about having a creative service.
Right.
I know for me, I definitely consider myself a creative, and I've done several pivots in the creative space. I've learned how to do web design, graphic design, video production, all the different things that come with creating content. And I can definitely say I'm a natural born leader, I feel like, and I enjoy leading. So I get most of my fulfillment out of setting the brand strategy and creative direction. Do I enjoy making a logo, developing a website? I can do it, but it's not really my passion. And so I'm grateful now that I've been able to turn away or just refer people to people where that's their expertise. Have you been in those situations where you're like, it's not really my niche, but I need the money, so I'm just gonna do it? Like, what's that thought process like? How do you prepare yourself to do something where you're like, this is really not what I want to do, but it's what I have to do right now?
Oh yeah, that was the case when I first started off. So yeah, I was taking everything that I could get because I was just excited and grateful to just be getting shoots.
Right.
So anything that came my way, I would take it. I would do it. And it just got to the point to where that's really the easy way to get to burnout. And so I knew I had to really stop and really set the goal, like, okay, what's the overall objective for me? So where do I see myself in 10 years? It's not doing this. I don't see myself taking every single shoot that comes my way. No. And so I had to really check myself and say, okay, you need to start being mindful and making moves that will set you up, for your version of success in the long run. And that's not taking every single shoot that you get, because that's going to lead to burnout. And so I had to be real with myself and say, okay, who are the types of clients that I want to attract, and what type of work can I see myself doing, for the long haul. And yeah, and I'm passionate about brands. I love, if you come to me, tell me your idea, you're super passionate about it, and you want to get it off the ground, I'm all for it. Like, I could be your biggest cheerleader as well, and I can help you out along the way. If you just come to me with an idea, I could picture it, and I'll figure out a way to convey that into images. And then I also do it in a way to where your target audience will be receptive to it. So that's what I'm passionate about, and I love doing that for other people.
So let's get into some of the not so pretty times. Like, I know as we grow, we learn from our mistakes, and we learn new lessons on just how to operate as a professional and an entrepreneur. How have you navigated the conversations where you're like, I do not want to work in this niche anymore or work with this type of client? Like, I guess kind of share a time where you were like, this isn't it, and I have to figure out how to tell this person this is not it. Without giving, you don't have to give too many specifics, but just kind of going through that process of how do you, because maintaining relationships and having a business is through communication. So when you know what your true heart is and what you want to do, and okay, although this person wants to work with me or they have this project, I'm not really interested. So how do I leave the relationship on a good note, or just navigate that? Because you have to put yourself first, right? Like you said it, like you're going to burn yourself out if you keep doing stuff that people just want you to do versus you really honing in on like, no, this is what I do and this is what I'm good at. So how do you navigate those conversations?
So in regards of those conversations, I know that now I figured out a way to navigate that just by setting the tone initially for how I do things. So so anyone who sends an inquiry, I let them know from the beginning what the process will be. And then I let them know just what the overall process will be. And just from working with me, I'll do X, Y, and Z. I will deliver this within this amount of time frame. This is just how I work. And it's not for everyone, and that is perfectly fine. So I say that as well. So I'm not the photographer for everyone, and that is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And and then also people who may think that they're ready, but they're not, that's perfectly fine. I'll just say, it's no worries, come back when you're ready.
Right.
And then I just really try my best to communicate everything in the beginning, so they'll know the whole scope or understand the whole scope of working with me. So that's what I do for the most part.
Yes, set expectations. I had to write that one down. It was something else you said earlier too.
Yeah, and even go as far as putting everything on your website, just communicating that as you're talking about your business, like set the tone in the beginning. And then also your clients or people who may refer you may tell other people how your process may work. Just really, it's important to set that tone in the beginning.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, I think to even piggyback on that it's not really good to go into situations unsure of what you want that outcome to be. Even if I know sometimes you are in hustle mode and you're trying to figure it out, it's good for you to know what you're walking into, and that goes back to just being intentional. And regardless of what level you're at, even if you are, maybe you have a full-time job and that's not really what you want to do, and you're now like, okay, I think I want to start, investing more time into my passions. I think it's important, like how you said, like people just started asking and you just kind of threw a number out there to what you felt like was okay in regards of money wise. But I think even in the beginning, the money isn't more important. It's more of you like really having a proof of concept of like, wow, this is something I can do. And really what you did it for yourself first. You're like, I'm going to take travel pictures. And then from there, people were like, oh, she's good at that. I want to pay her to do that. So I think that's even good advice for people too, that if there's something that they're passionate about, just keep it as a passion. Everything doesn't have to start off as like this big business idea, or I'm about to build my brand, I'm about to start doing this. It's like, figure out what like the true core of what you want to do and just test it out for yourself. And I think that also helps with, partnering with creatives such as yourself. I guess this is a good segue into really what has been some of your like best experiences with working with brands that are just starting out. Like you're basically being a part of their pivot. So like, yes, please share. I would love to know.
Oh, I absolutely love being a part of the growth process. Like I absolutely love it. And I could give you an example of a story of, and this just this happened a couple of years ago. So one brand in particular, they were just starting out. They were a food brand, a West African cuisine food brand. And at the time, I wanted to just start working with more restaurants or just lifestyle food brands. And so I didn't work with anyone like that, but I wanted to attract more clients like that. And so I connected with them and I just offered them a pro bono shoot. I was like, look, I love what y'all doing. Y'all's food is amazing, but they were just starting out. And I would love to do a pro bono shoot, so that I could update my portfolio, and then in exchange, y'all could get free images. But since we collaborated on that one shoot, I just been their go-to photographer. And so they've been doing pop-ups. They are now catering for celebrities that come here, and then they'll invite me out and I'm taking pictures while they're catering. Like it's super cool to really just grow with individuals who had an idea, who have a mission, and who are just really doing what they can to make it flourish. Like it is really, really cool. And I absolutely love it. So I that's the type of, so those are the type of clients that I just truly enjoy working with.
Mm-hmm.
Just those who are just in it for the long haul,
right.
you know, and who are all about just serving other people. So yeah, I love it.
So we have a question that just came in. Can you clarify, let's see, can you clarify a little more of what a brand is or is considered a brand? Like, what do you consider a brand? And maybe we should answer this question for what we consider a brand is overall, and we may even want to get a little bit more specific from a personal and a corporate level.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll let you answer first, and then I'll, add my 2 cents in as well.
My take on a brand is basically the perception or the initial, like the personality of either a business or some sort of movement in a sense. So a brand is your way of connecting with other individuals. So, and then also from a corporate level, it's your way of, it's basically the personality of your whole entire business. It's the culture of that whole entire organization. And then personal is just your way of representing yourself so that you could connect with other individuals. So that's my take on a brand.
Yeah. So
what's your take?
Yeah. So I can go several levels deep with this question, but my simple answer is the brand is like the soul of whatever it's embodying, whether it's a person or a business, it's the soul and spirit of the brand. Because when you connect with people, they're connecting with you with your spirit. And that's what their experience leaves with. So like just right now, when you leave this conversation, whatever emotions you're feeling or whatever, perception you have, that's a part of the brand of this series. That's the part of the brand of Taylor. Or like, wow, I felt really connected to Taylor. Or I told Taylor, like, she carries peace so well. When I think of Taylor, I think of peace. Like, that's a part of her brand. And if you go look on her website, you just feel like everything is just flowing. It's just like this like constant stream that she just, I don't know. It's crazy. I need to like write a poem about you or something. But that's what I identify as a brand. And so I tell people all the time, like with my company. So PAG is a consulting agency, and we specialize in personal development and brand strategy. And our tagline is brand is wealth, because I believe your brand, your perception, your spirit, all of that ties into you really building your legacy and creating wealth.
Right.
Like, if you're a person, you have a brand. If you have a business, you're a brand. All of that comes together. And it's important that when you are developing a business based on your passion, that who you are as a person is going to be a part of that business.
Exactly.
And that's good and bad, because I tell people, if you are lazy at your 9 to 5, you're going to be lazy with your business, period. Like if you're a procrastinator or different things like that, I would say, because, there's a lot of us that are passionate about different things, but are we going to actually get up every day and do the work?
Right.
Are we going to be disciplined to create that schedule? And because at the end of the day, you're answering to yourself.
Right.
And I definitely say entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Do I think we should explore it? Yeah, but it just may look different for everyone. So have you, I guess that's a good question too, because, as creatives, discipline isn't really a thing sometimes, or just being organized. So are you a naturally organized person, or what were some of the things you had to adopt with just managing yourself as a business? What were some of those things like?
To me, I didn't consider myself an organized person, but the people around me that were closest to me would tell me I was. But maybe it was just this, I knew that what I wanted to do would be bigger than me. And then I understood that it will require me to show up in a certain way, and that would mean elevating myself. So whatever it is I had to do to just continue to grow, that's what I was just determined to do. So that means having a schedule, and then also it's just fulfilling to just create your own schedule, in my opinion. But yeah, but that means just taking the necessary steps to make sure everything is organized, and then also for your clients, I'm working with people who I'm a part of people's journey in regards to building their dreams. So it's important for me to just make sure things are organized and things are going as smoothly, just to go towards flourishing this big dream of someone else's. So I really see the bigger scope of things. And then I know that implementing those tiny steps in regards of creating calendar invites and just being super organized and professional will just make things easier and more efficient in the long haul. So I just think of the bigger picture. And when I make certain decisions.
I'm telling you, like, entrepreneurs really have my heart, and even more so creatives. And so I'm doing everything I can to be able to provide those tools and resources for, us to be able to be more productive and manage our time, and really manage our time, but also invest our time into what matters. Because sometimes, we're just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing if it sticks. And it's like, you really got to take an inventory of who you are all together to really figure out, okay, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I feel like my purpose is. Because the thing is, too, you don't know until you just get on the journey and say, okay, let me just figure it out. And you're basically surrendering, and to kind of close up this conversation, how has your faith played a role in you just finessing this entrepreneurial journey?
Oh my gosh. I would say God has truly blessed me, and he's definitely put me in a lot of situations so that I could just rely solely on him. So I've realized that God wants to work with us. So it required me to just really entrepreneurship has brought me closer, has really strengthened my connection with God, because it's really positioned me to just really sit still and to become clear on what it is I'm supposed to be doing while I'm here on this earth. And then really we all just want to be happy. And by doing that, I mean, God knows what's best for us. So why not just get clear and listen to him? And just, so that's my take on it. But yeah, I would say throughout this whole journey, God has really put me in a ton of positions to just rely solely on him. Even if I feel like I may not, even during those times where I wasn't receiving any money, I was working for free, I may feel like I lacked in certain things. That was just God's way of, it was just another opportunity to just rely solely on him. And he make a way. He's definitely made a way for me.
Made a way when there was no way. Woo. Right. Testimonies for days, man.
I know.
That definitely hit my spirit. I can definitely relate, just because I've been a part of your journey, and I just know just how we've surrendered. Literally surrendered. And I feel like it's important to just choose peace when don't choose to be confused.
Exactly.
Like, choose peace and give it all to God and let him figure it out, because there's definitely been times where I did not have the answer. And a lot of people look to me for the answer, and I just allow God to show up. And as I continue to grow and evolve, I always say, less of me and more of him. That's really all I'm doing. And the thing is, the closer you get to your purpose, I feel like, and that and you allow God to order your steps, it doesn't necessarily get easier, but you just have more clarity on a consistent basis where you're able to make quicker decisions.
And then you just trust the process more.
Yeah.
So also by doing that, you just surrender to not knowing the answers right now. And that is perfectly fine. You don't have to know the answers right now.
Right.
Maybe what you're meant to do right now is just to sit still for a while and just take action when it's time for you to take action.
Right.
So just surrender to it all. And it'll really, and to me, by doing that, it has brought a lot of just mental ease. Like it
Mm-hmm.
is really just like a peaceful feeling to just not care sometimes, and just, when I say not care, meaning to not stress
Right.
behind, not having it all figured out, so just, yeah.
So we're
Mhm.
gonna close out with some rapid fire questions. And just,
Okay.
I wore black today because I knew you would wear black. I was like, let me put on black so, Taylor and I can be on the same vibe.
Right.
So, okay. What, let's see, how do I want to do these? Okay, so these are like this or that questions, okay?
Okay.
So, I probably know the answer to some of these, but it's okay. Smoothie or oatmeal?
Dang, I love them both. I'll just say smoothie.
Audio book or real book?
Um, it depends. I mean, real book.
Okay.
Yeah, real book.
Text or talk?
Talk. I'm a horrible texter. Yeah, just call me. Call me. Mhm.
Okay, shop in store or online?
In store. I need to try on the clothes and fill them out before I purchase.
What's the last thing you purchased on Amazon?
Some photography equipment. No, actually, I bought some masks off of Amazon.
You bought some masks.
Yeah, I think that was the last thing. But does that count?
Yeah, that
Or
counts. That counts.
okay, well, mask.
And then lastly, what is love? What's your definition of love?
Love is so complex. Love is. I feel like you can find love in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love just. Love is so complex. It's so, everyone has just their own special way of showing it, you know, even if they don't even realize how they're showing love. It's just so many layers to it, and it's just, it's amazing. It's an
Yeah.
amazing feeling, for
Yeah, I
sure.
always say like it is so many layers to it, and I feel like every answer connects back to God because like
Yeah,
God is love. So
right.
he's forgiving, he's caring, he's patient, he's kind, he's a supporter, a helper. He's like all these different things, and I think it just goes back to him. And definitely, my vision for myself is to be the epitome of God's grace and love, and I just want to continuously show up for that. So, so let's let the people know where to find you, where to connect with you. What's upcoming. What can we look forward to?
Okay, so I started back shooting this week. So any entrepreneurs who are looking to get some headshots or anything, so now I'm open for business. And also, I did update my website and it's live now. So y'all feel free to go visit my site, taylormhayden.com. And also any photographers out there who are just interested in working full time. You may be a hobbyist or doing it part time. So if you want it to be your main profession, I am providing a free masterclass later on in this month, to where I'll be teaching you ways to transition from a hobbyist into a full-time photographer. Yeah, and just other, and then also a lot of free resources I put out there. You could find all that on my website. So
Yay!
yeah.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
so excited for this new pivot and
I know.
transition. I love how we are just taking this time. I believe God is in control of everything. So I am completely blessed about this pandemic. My prayers go out to
Right.
everyone that's, suffering from this from a health perspective or financial perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I know God's going to pull us through, but
Mm-hmm.
kudos to all of us that are really understanding that how much of a blessing this time has been.
I know.
And honestly, in a sense, I feel like 2020, it hasn't been thrown away, but it's more so of like 2020 is literally the year of like, you can make this what you want to make it. Like
Mm-hmm.
by the end of the year, I feel like we've been given the freedom and flexibility now to where we can really finesse and pivot with 2020. If we do it in faith, it's going to really blow our minds on what the end of this year is going to look like.
Right. No, you're absolutely right.
So
is the pivot year.
Yes, it's a pivot year.
It is a pivot year, most definitely.
So yes, so happy and grateful for you. I love you, and
you too.
I'm probably gonna text you later.
Okay.
All right, so thank all of you for tuning in. Please, this actually, part of it was shared on YouTube Live, so that link is live right now. So I'll go ahead, Taylor, I'll give you that link so you can share it out, and then I'll share it out as well. So enjoy the rest of your day and have an awesome, awesome, productive Cinco de Mayo.
You as well.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye-bye.